Boom, boom, boom. Good morning. Welcome, everybody. Welcome back to the Two Dumb Yinzers. This is episode 202. I am your host, Ryan. Everybody knows my co-host, the Snack Panther.
The Snack?
The Snack Panther. Wakanda snacks are you into this morning, Mike?
I had some actually leftovers Domino's pizza from last night.
Okay.
Yes, that's my big meal of the day.
Yes, that's what you get for breakfast?
Well, technically it's like dinner time for me. I've been up since 9:30 last night to get to work. Yeah.
I see.
Yeah, so you know.
This is episode 202. Mike, we are 3 weeks and 2 days away from Christmas.
Ugh.
Pretty crazy when you think about it. However, you don't have to worry because it works out in your favor. Christmas is on a Sunday this year, so you don't have to try to get sick on one of the show days to get your day off.
Oh, so don't worry, I will be sick over that. I'm just happy I have a voice for this episode because 20 minutes before the show started, I couldn't talk at all.
So that's Saturday. Saturday will be Christmas Eve. Sunday will be Christmas. We got you covered, Mike. You don't even have to fake your death this year. So we're gonna.
Don't worry. I'll find a way to get Monday off. We're on a 3-day fucking weekend.
Oh man, it's Friday, everybody. It's Friday. Excited to get the weekend started. Mike, the why do I keep saying Golden State? The Las Vegas Golden Knights come to town last night. The Penguins slipped by them. They slipped by them 4-3. Yes. What do you make of these Penguins, Mike? I don't know what to make of them. And the thing is, I'm so in the football right now. I'm not really taking the time and investing the time into learning a lot about what the Penguins are doing at the moment. Mm-hmm. Because like I said, once I get in full swing for football, I'm all footballed out and. And then hockey kind of eases its way in. But what do you make of these Penguins? Is this going to be a good year for these guys? Are they too old? What's going on?
They're sitting in an okay position right now. 12-8, 428 points, sitting fourth in the division. They're kind of hot right now, man. They've won 6 out of their last 8 games they have won. That let those 2 letdowns against Toronto and Carolina. I don't know. Recently, it seems like the past few years we've had trouble with Carolina, so I really wasn't expecting a whole lot out of that. But this team, man, this is like kind of where they were last year at this point, sitting around this spot right here. Then boom, they ran off 10 wins in a row, something like that. Jari was playing lights out. So maybe the loss of Letang is going to force them to play a tighter game, play a little more structure, and they can start rocking and rolling. Because when this team, they hate to play the trap, but they've done it before. They've played defensive minded, and it works. You stymie the team in your own zone, in the neutral zone, and you have a team that can counterattack. You have some good counterattack players. So hopefully, it sucks to say this, but losing one of your best players. You see this in the launch sports, it changes the way you play. And, you play more of a complete game. And, that leads to great success. So it'll be interesting to see what happens here, how long the Letang's out. Because they're going to have to play a smarter game now because you're losing someone who plays more or less half the game.
Yeah.
So it's the Penguins, man. They up and down, and then they finally hit their stride. And this seems to be like when they hit their stride.
Does this team, realistically, Mike? I mean, we wanted to keep the stars around, keep Crosby, Malkin, Letang. Realistically, does this team have enough youth, energy, speed, and fire to be a team that could make a serious run at the Stanley Cup? I mean, every once in a while, you'll see one of these teams that kind of come to the end of their road, like the Colorado Avalanche back in the 90s with Bork and Wall and them guys. and that team wins. But usually you don't see it. You see a team that got speed, energy,
Yeah.
quickness. Is this team? I mean, is there a chance that these guys could win another cup before it's all said and done, or do you think it's pretty much done? And we got to kind of wait for the next
I think
wave of players.
we might have to. This might be the last run. I like for me, like the window is just about closed on this core group because like you said, man, they're not getting any younger. They're not getting faster. They're in more or less salary cap hell. We have a good young defenseman in the system that we can't bring up, that we can't play because we can't afford him in the cap. Now, that's going to change if Letang goes on long term IR. We can bring this kid up, but once Letang comes back, that's a younger player that we have to send down that brings that youthful energy. Because we saw it when they won the first cup, man.
Yeah.
God, man, we had Connor Sherry, Rust, but a handful of young guys that came in and added that youthful enthusiasm, that speed, that extra get go.
That's the thing. I think
And
everybody in
I don't think
Pittsburgh.
it's going to happen this year. The only way you can do that, you have to ship out a lot of your. You got to ship out people who are making good chunks of money.
Yeah.
But
And unfortunately, it's the stars that are basically holding this team back in a sense because I mean, you have this young talent, you have Jake Gensel, you have these young goalies, you have other players out there, and you might be only missing a piece here, a piece there if you would free up the money from the three big the cash cows basically that everybody wants here because of the names and who they are, and which rightfully so. I understand they're great players, and you don't want them to go. You didn't want Maria to go. But at some point, we have to let them go so the team can move on and maybe, like I said, get like you said, a whole new group of core players. They have the young cats there. They have some young guys that I think they're going to be a big part of moving forward. But it just seems to me like the three is kind of weighing it down. I would like to see one of these 96 Avalanche finishes for these guys and have them all go out on their white horse. But you know what? A lot of times that isn't reality, and it almost seems like it's those three that are kind of holding things back.
I'm gonna have to disagree with you there because right now, through 24 games played, Crosby has 32 points, 12 goals, 20 assists.
Okay.
Malkin 24 games played, 8 goals, 13 assists, 21 points. That's third on the team. Second is Gensel. He's played 20 games. He's 12 goals, 11 assists, 23 points. So those are your top guys right there. The one that's disappointing is Brian Rust.
Yeah,
He's
right.
5 goals, 5 assists, 10 points. He's in minus 12. I know plus or minus isn't, the stat that it is anymore. That you have analytics, but look, Letang was a minus 7. He like his play hasn't been that great this year, but last year, he was lights out. The year before that, lights out. So you figured if Letang didn't get sick, have the stroke, I have a feeling he would play himself back into form. But like someone like Rust and then Dumoulin has not been playing well this year. Those are two big salaries right there that are kind of holding the team back.
Okay.
Like you're paying Dumoulin to help. Hopefully he would be that, the guy opposite Letang on that pairing or in the second pairing to help shut the team down. You're looking for Brian Rust to be that secondary scoring, and it's not there.
Right.
That's, to me, those contracts are worrying. Same thing with Kasperi Kapanen. This guy's been more or less a bust his entire career. He's been benched a bunch this year. He got the game winner last year. That's nice, but he only has 2 goals. For the amount of money we're paying him, he should be scoring more goals.
What's Carter doing?
Carter, he's 3 goals, 9 assists, 12 points. He's +2, averaging about 15 minutes a game.
Okay.
At this point, he is what he is. I think that contract is too much. Like he would have been the guy to let go.
Yeah.
In the offseason, I was part of the people that said we got to move on from Malkin, use that money elsewhere. But you can't argue with his point production this year and the way he's playing. So yeah, that's all right.
And in hockey, it's hard to tell. Sometimes, when guys are at that age where they should be past their prime, they're not. They could come out and be productive. Yeah. I'm just like I said, once you get in the playoffs, the speed of the game moves a lot faster. The guys have a lot more energy, and I just wonder if this group of guys are going to be able to hold up. I don't think Sidney Crosby is going to have a this year. I don't think Sidney Crosby is going to have a problem doing that. He's just the guy. He's energy, but Malkin, the way he kind of slows up through the course of the season, and like I said, that's a long and it's a hard run, and as well as I do that trip to the Stanley Cup Finals and to win that game. in that series. That's a very long, grueling gauntlet of things going on, and it's I kind of worry about that.
I think if Malkin and Crosby can make it through the regular season without missing time to injury, I think they'll be good to go in the playoffs, because that's what happened to Malkin the past couple of years. Like the injuries and not having like full off seasons to get healthy, missing time during the season, not being your best when you're not feeling your best when we need you at your best. I think that's usually the issue with this team is injuries. For as good as this team is, man, it always seems like they are one of the leaders for like man games lost.
Okay.
So if they can like stay healthy, especially the top guys, I think they're going to do well in the playoffs, because it feels like in these past 5 years something weird has always happened.
Right.
When you're missing someone, like Jari falls apart in the playoffs. This year he played well leading into the playoffs and got hurt, but it's just something. It's like fate is conspiring against this group to not let them win a Stanley Cup. I think if they can get it going this year, get the ship righted, maybe, I hate to say it, trade someone, like find someone that will take Dumoulin in his salary, find someone that will take Kapanen in his salary, and use that to get one or two younger guys in.
Yeah.
You just do something, because they have to
manipulate.
They have to free up cap space.
I think there's a lot of young players too, a lot of young talented players that would love to come play for this franchise.
But it's are they going to be able to available in a trade?
You're right.
That's the only problem.
I don't have in front of me, Mike, who and when do the Penguins play next?
Oh, they play next. Oh, I gotta hit an arrow here. Tomorrow, 7 p.m., the St. Louis Blues come to town.
All right. We got the Blues. And just a side note, Mike, they said that Letang was out skating briefly yesterday before the game with the I don't know with the team or not, but you know what? That's kind of an encouraging thing that he's fighting and pushing. And I don't know how much you could fight and push. Your body's kind of doing its own thing at that point.
But let it do it.
He certainly, lets the guys know that he wants to be out there.
Yeah, and hopefully he, gets that clean bill of health and is able to come back.
Absolutely. Mike, over to football, the other game on TV last night, the Buffalo Bills and the New England Patriots. We were talking a little bit about that yesterday. The Bills, they trounced the Patriots 24-10. This Josh Allen, he's a special thing. I tell you what, at the end of his career, when it's said and done, he will be the Ben Roethlisberger of this generation. No two ways about it. I'm watching. He just thinks he sees things differently than everybody else does. A couple of these plays he made last night were fantastic. One where he was running out of bounds, getting chased out of bounds.
Yeah.
And as soon as he was about, right on the out of bounds line, he jumps up like on one foot, fires it back across his body, and hits his guy in the end zone who's covered. Excuse me, for a touchdown. He's something special. I tell you what, if Buffalo does what we did with Ben and keeps him there his whole career, they will win Super Bowls. I promise you. That guy, he's too good not to win championships. I'm just amazed. Every time I watch Josh Allen play.
He's a fun player to watch. I like you said, man, it is like watching Big Ben back in the day. Like if Steelers fans who didn't get the witness like the first half of Ben's career, go watch Josh Allen play.
Yeah.
I think Allen's more athletic.
Mm-hmm.
He moves around.
He jumped over a guy. He stiff-armed a guy. I mean, this guy, Mike, he's the real deal.
Yeah. When you watch Ben run back in the day, he's like, oh, man, all right, he's nimble. We'll call it nimble. But, yeah. But nothing like Josh Allen.
Yes.
With the run. I think he's fun to watch.
Mike, I don't know if this is rumor. I mean, it could be. I don't know. I don't know if it's true or not. But something that I did pick up while looking at the statistics for the game for last night, there was a tweet, Mike, that said Brady could be on his way back to New England after Bill Belichick meeting. Can you possibly see that happening at 80 years old for Tom Brady? I mean, is this, now that the divorce is done, the breakup's done, if he feels that he can still play and possibly go back under Bill Belichick and his system and win football games, we might as well just fucking kill ourselves now from Pittsburgh, because you know what that's going to lead to.
No, we seen him play. He looks washed. He looks like
Yeah.
he's done. But no. I think this is some
Rumor?
insider, just trying to get their name out there, trying to float a theory.
Can you imagine another 10 years? And I know Brady's going to be, near senior citizen at that point, but with this guy, you're right. You're right. The guy is not the same player, which is crazy because 2 years ago he was still winning Super Bowls with Tampa Bay when he
Yeah,
first came over. So you don't know.
everyone thought like, oh, he's never gonna retire.
Let's just say he clears his head from all this shit going on with the wife and the kids and the
Yeah,
divorce and Costa Rica and all that stuff. He might be able to.
I know that's good. Well, like, well, he lost a lot of that money in that. Oh, was it FTX
Yeah.
crypto? So he might have to keep playing just to
Yeah.
pay his bills at this point.
Wouldn't that be wild? Wouldn't that be wild? See number 12 run back out on the field with that damn Patriot uniform on.
No, I don't want to see it. Yeah, I feel like I'm having PTSD just thinking about it. Like I'm twitching just thinking about it. Oh, fuck you, Tom Brady.
Speaking of crazy stories from expatriates, Mike, the big one, Antonio Brown. There was a arrest warrant issued for the former Steeler wide receiver Antonio Brown. Police spent at least an hour trying to arrest him at his house, Mike, because apparently he hit his wife with the shoe. Is that what you're hearing?
I heard that it was like some sort of, excuse me, as I'm spitting all over the place, like an assault charge or assault and battery charge, and they were going to serve the arrest warrant, and my man barricaded himself in his house. Apparently, weapons in there. Like
Didn't see this
I
one
was
coming from a
half
mile
tempted
away.
to like get the Twitter alert saying Antonio Brown gunned down in standoff.
Yeah.
Like it wouldn't surprise me at this point.
You know what they got to do with
like,
this guy? I don't care what they do, the legal system, legal situation. I say that you just have to cut him off as far as the media. He's as long as he knows that he's the center of these stories and he's going to keep acting a fool. You know what I mean? And as long as people keep covering this and putting it up on their, on ESPN, and he's going to continue to do it. That's just the clown that he turned out to be, unfortunately, because he was such a good football player and a wide receiver. But unfortunately, this is the Antonio Brown that we're going to see from here on out. And I say at some point, if you want it to stop, you just have to stop covering him.
Yeah, like everyone thought it's like just going to be a normal Thursday. Right. You have Antonio Brown doing that, and then I don't know if we're going to talk about it, but then you have like Kanye too at the same time. Both of them felt like, oh, I'm going to fuck shit up. Oh yeah, me too. Let's double down.
Yes.
It was like
hold my beer.
Twitter gets exactly what it was, man. Twitter yesterday was wild. It was just like I needed to sleep, and I'm just like I'm just down the rabbit hole with both of these stories. And the AB one, I was just waiting for him to literally die in gunfire. I'm like, the way his trajectory in life is going, it won't surprise me if that's how it ends.
Right.
You hate to say it, but this is the way it's looking.
Maybe it was Antonio Brown that threw the shoe at George W. Bush. Remember
that? I forgot all about that. But I laugh every time I see because W's up there. He thought
I was thinking about that. I was actually
George thought it was a game.
Yeah. And you know what I was thinking about that is, they didn't show what happened to the guy, but they certainly didn't just escort him. Somebody just threw a shoe at the president of the United States.
Yeah.
You know how bad that guy got his ass whooped, whoever he was, wherever it was. There was a bunch of guys that you didn't see on that screen that whooped his ass. You know that. Yeah.
They're like
Secret Service don't just
our
stand
Secret Service, like because he was with another foreign leader. That foreign leader's probably Secret Service too. Yeah. Just beating the shit out of this guy.
He might be dead for all we know. Mike, call. We got soccer. We have a couple games that are going on or have just finished. South Korea, Portugal. When I seen it, the score was 1-1.
Oh, Korea is up 2-1.
2-1. And the other one was Ghana and Uruguay. Uruguay was up 2-0.
Yeah, they're still up 2-0. Yeah.
That was in the H group. In the G group this afternoon, 2:00 for both of these games, Serbia and Switzerland. And also, who's the other one, Mike? I can't see. Brazil versus Morocco, maybe.
Cameroon.
Cameroon, Brazil. Those will be both at 2:00 today if you want to catch them. And tomorrow's the big one. If you are following soccer here in our homeland of the United States of
Oh,
America,
excuse me.
Team USA plays Netherlands tomorrow at 2:00. That is Saturday. You're going to want to check that out.
Let's go. I was so disappointed yesterday. Germany was eliminated.
Oh,
Eliminated.
man.
They finished in a tie, and they lost the tiebreaker on goal
I lost
differential.
sleep.
It was a good game, man. There's some goals scored in that game. There was too, man. There were a lot of goals scored in that game.
I was trying to watch a little bit.
Oh yeah, Korea just finished it out 2-1 upset over Portugal, but it looked like Portugal was already advancing to the next round, so it really no bearing on the decision there. Yeah, even like South Korea needed to. Who did they? Yeah, South Korea needed to win by a lot more to move on.
They and if you're not a soccer guy and you don't feel like watching the US Team USA tomorrow, you have a lot of college championship games going on. We really don't have time to get into it, Mike, but there are a lot of games, college championship games, to see who's going to win the conferences, things like that. So those will be on all day too. A lot of sports going on this weekend.
Lots of sport. I love sport. How can you not be excited this right now in the world of sports?
You're going to get
there's something there to tickle your fancy.
You're going to get more sports here in a second because there's something controversial that came out yesterday. The college football playoff system makes an official 12-team expansion. We were just talking about this 2 days ago, Mike.
Yes.
And they decided yesterday in the 2024-2025 season, they will be expanding their playoffs to 12 teams, which again, that kind of makes things a little off and a little odd. If you would put your bracket together right now, you would see what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But they do like they're expanding the 12 teams. I think that's a good thing. There's a lot of people out there that don't like it, but you know what? I think this is a great thing.
I like it. Like we said, like more teams in there, the better, because it gives, it gives those teams that people talk about, oh, should they be in or not? This is, it gives those teams the chance to go in. And if more teams gives you a better chance to find the true champion.
And that's it. Because
you have to survive this juggernaut.
You're right. The team that wins it all has to survive the juggernaut against all these other really good teams. It's not Austin P. It's not Colgate. You're playing the other 11 best teams in the country to see who's the best. Yep. I think that's the best way. I've seen people complaining, well, there's too many bowl games. There used to only be so many. Now there's 45. There's going to be more. You know what? Those other bowl games fall to the wayside now to me because you have the 12 best teams in college football going at it for the championship. Yep. And if your other team, and if your team is, good enough, then they're going to get a bowl somewhere you can go enjoy it. I don't understand the problem. I like it. I think the expansion's great. Hopefully next time it'll be up to 16.
I love it. I love it. One, it's more football to be played.
Yeah,
and you can find now like a true national championship. It's what's going to be interesting is too now this like for like a lot of the top guys, like when they're out of the playoff race, they're going to sit out the bowl game to protect their career.
Right
now, you're adding this into it. Now, are they going to weigh? Hey, help my team win a national championship
to go.
Yeah, they got a whole playoff to go, and you got to weigh that. Yeah, you got to weigh that, like,
and you're going to want the pros
earnings versus this thing right here that might not mean a lot to you, but you have like teammates that they're not going to go on. So it's going to add a lot. It's going to be a lot of fodder to talk about.
You're trying to convince scouts and teams in the NFL to look at you and to like you. What better way than to play 2-3 high quality games at the end of the season in a playoff to see who is the champion? This, guys ain't gonna want to sit out. I just think
I would sit out. I'd be like, nah, I got millions upon millions of dollars on the line.
Yeah,
peace out. Good luck. I got to go get my money.
I just think
but I respect the player who's going to say that. I also respect the player who's going to say, hey, you know what? I want to go win this.
Yeah.
So for me, it's do what you want to do. But remember, the Pittsburgh Steelers drafted a quarterback who abandoned his team in the time of need.
Who? What?
Kenny Pickett. He sat out the bowl game.
Oh yeah, right. What are you talking about? We've had Steelers that quit mid-season. We have linebackers and defensive linemen that just say, "Hey, I don't even want to play anymore. I'm going home."
Hey, Mike, they were smart.
Yeah.
All
One
the
other
other guys still playing are dumbasses.
one other college note on the side, Mike. I don't know if anybody noticed this. This is just an observation I made. You have Tennessee sitting at 10-2. You have Alabama sitting at 10-2.
Mhm,
Tennessee beat Alabama earlier
mhm,
this year in a big game,
mhm.
and Alabama sits higher than Tennessee in the rankings. This is
Makes
why
sense.
you need a playoff. You can't go by these people and their rankings and their
You
votes,
can't.
and you need these teams to play one another to see who's the best.
You do. Otherwise,
This is what
it's
happens.
arbitrary. This is the whole reason they came up with this whole, like, they had the BCS standings, then the playoffs, is to get away from the arbitrary rankings.
Yeah,
Because how many teams lost out on national championships
you're
that
right.
should have won because they didn't beat an opponent by enough points, or
It's
they
ridiculous.
beat that person
That's
head
just
to
what a
head,
stupid
but
thing. What a
that
stupid
loss was
thing.
early in the season. Then the team who won the first matchup loses late in the season, so they get screwed over. That's what this whole system was supposed to avoid, and we're back into the same trap.
I couldn't agree more. I'm so looking forward to these playoffs, Mike. I can't wait. 24,
Hmm.
25 can't get here fast enough for me. I've been saying this ever since they changed it to moved to put the 4 teams together.
Hmm.
I thought this is cool. It's a step in the right direction, but it isn't enough. You have to do more because
Yep.
and they are. And hopefully, like I said, shortly after that, we can get to an even thing. I don't know what they're going to do, how they're going to do it with giving. Like I said, you're just not. It's not going to end out even. You're not going to end out even
Hmm.
with your brackets, but only time will tell, and of course, somebody will come across that issue at some point and say, "Hey, this has to be fixed." Mike, let's jump on up to the NFL. We got a big game. We
Yes.
have a big game this weekend, Mike. We have the chance to win 2 straight games for the first time this year. 2 straight games. Jalen Warren, Mike. Jalen Warren is ready to make his first career start on Sunday in Atlanta.
I like it. I'm excited. It's well deserved for him.
Absolutely.
He's coming in as Najee's backup. Philip playing very well this year. See what he can do.
Absolutely. The let me take a look. See here. The Steelers have the 4th most rushing yards over the past 3 weeks. Now, mind you, this is that period of time after the bye where
Hmm.
the schedule kind of changed for the Steelers. Now, the other 3 teams, the Eagles, over the past 3 weeks have ran for 598 yards. They ran for 600 yards in the past 3 weeks. Mike,
Oh,
Philadelphia has. The Bears have ran for 545 yards in that period of time. The Bills before last night were at 510 yards. And finally, the Steelers are 491 yards, Mike, in the past 3 weeks. Things are starting to gel, coming together with the line. Things are looking better. Running backs are running
yep.
harder. You have guys trying to come in and do some stuff. I like it. You got to like what's going on, and you need the run game. And you know what? For
You
what the
do.
situation we're in, for the in this period of time, you seriously need the run game big time. I can't wait. I can't wait to see him get out there. I can't wait to see the other guys, Benny. I can't wait to see. I don't know if McFarland will be. I don't know what the roster is going to look like yet on Sunday, but I do know that Jalen Warren will be starting on Sunday, Mike.
I'm pumped. I'm excited. It's always nice to see. I don't know, that next guy up. See if they can see what they can do. We've seen flashes of it, but now can you be the number one guy?
Right.
You've shown flashes.
I
People
sure
have
hope he.
been campaigning for you, saying you've been outperforming our first round draft pick. Let's see if you can do it. We saw Benning Snell be able to step in last week, so that's nice. He's going to be sitting right there if Jalen Warren is not up the task. But I think he will be. I think there's going to be a nice little alternate rotation between the 3 of them. I think McFarland's going to. Wouldn't surprise me if he gets in there with his speed. They've been wanting to showcase him, get him in the field, use his speed for the past couple of years, but through performance availability issues, due to injury, we haven't seen a whole lot of them. But I think now with Najee out, all 3 of these guys healthy, you have to use all 3
Absolutely.
if you want to
It's
win.
only
For how long
beneficial
where did we go? Yeah.
because you've seen the way it was last week. You're not playing to play one guy. You're not playing to play 2
Hmm.
guys. You have 3 different guys coming at you with different speed, styles,
Hmm.
strengths. I like it. I like it. Like I said, this is something that we do need to continue to do,
Yes.
along with using our tight end, Mike, our tight end, Pat Fryermuth. He is the 10th tight end in NFL history, Mike, to reach 100 receptions in his first 25 games or less. You can't, this guy's already got Hall of Fame written all over him.
I wouldn't go that far, but I see what you're
Well,
saying.
you know what I'm saying?
He's
And
tracking very well.
and
He's
these
in
are
with
the
the right.
things that you have to do well to be a good football
Yes.
team. You got to be able to run. You got to have a nice tight end. That's that. We got those 2. And a couple here's a couple other things that are pretty encouraging for this team. Like the Steelers are 14-2-1 all time against Atlanta. 14-2-1. I like that. Of course, that doesn't mean a hill of shit going into this game, but historically we are 14-2-1.
Yeah.
And I think these stats are kind of interesting. With and without Watt. With Watt, the Steelers are 3-1 this year. Without Watt, they're 1-6. With Watt, they have 11 takeaways. Without Watt, they have 5. With Watt, they have 14 sacks. Without Watt, they have 8. So those numbers going against a team that's not really too good at all. And and I'm not putting these guys down because we're not, anything great either this season. But I think we're going to beat this team. I think it's going to be just a little bit more convincing than last week's. I think it's going to be a lot of fun, man.
I think we should win this game. This one of the games I think we should win. And if we don't, I'm going to be a little disappointed.
Yes, absolutely.
Like the Falcons, Steelers aren't a good team. Falcons aren't a good team, but I think we have the better pieces. We have more pieces in place.
The thing is, at the end of the day, I don't think we're a bad team. We're just we're not playing good football, and we haven't been playing good football because if you look at it, we have a lot of nice pieces from on the defensive side of the ball. You have 5 guys that the team would kill for. On the offensive side,
it's too spread out. It's too spread out. It's like a here, a there, a
right.
here, a there.
And
not
that's
like a solid unit of like we don't have a solid like secondary to build around or a D line or a linebacker. We have like one defensive lineman, one linebacker, maybe 2, or like 2 defensive backs.
I think one nice draft gets us back in the mix, man. I do. One nice draft in a season under the belt of these guys.
Yeah, if you hit on your first round pick, your 2 second rounds, and even your third, you're sitting good. And like we saw like this year, man, you want to say maybe hit on our first, second. Leal was 3rd round pick, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, before he got hurt. So we were looking like, okay, we got some players here. If we can repeat that again in the areas need O-line, D-line, secondary, yeah, you might be back in it. Not ready to contend, but ready to
but not being an embarrassment.
Not being an embarrassment. Right. You're making that right step. Maybe one more good draft class away. You got the building blocks in place.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. I think that's pretty accurate, Mike. And one negative thing I do have to say, however, the Falcons are right there with us, so I don't feel so bad. The Steelers and Falcons are tied with the league leading plays giving up 20 plus pass yards or more, or 20 plus pass yards more this season. They both have 45. They both have 45 plays of 20 plus pass yards or more per play are on those plays. So like I said, that's kind of a worrisome thing, but being the Falcons are the team that is right there with us, I like our chances. I think that our pieces are a little bit better than their pieces that we have in our place. And I think, like I said, I think we win this game.
Yeah, and the Falcons are going to be without their second-year tight end, Kyle Pitts, who was...
That's big.
Yeah, he was the first tight end off the board. Frymuth was the second one off. Kyle Pitts has had 96 receptions. Then he got hurt. Like him, and it's going to be fun to watch his career go and Frymuth's career go at the same time. Because I was very looking very, oh my God, looking forward very much to watch these two go at it. Even though, it's not head to head, but just to watch them play against each other, see who has the better game. Because I would love to have had either one of those tight ends. But speaking of, so that's someone we're going to miss out on, like their big play ability. Because this guy, he's a very good tight end. He was very athletic, fast. But they also have Cordella Patterson. We're going to have to watch out for him on special teams. And they use him throughout the offense, running back, wide receiver. He kind of lines up everywhere. He's their jack of all trades. Yeah. He only has 11 catches this year, but he's still a threat. You have to find him out there wherever he is. You have to pay attention to him. And they have pretty decent rushing attack, dude. They have like 1,900 yards rushing.
I think, in my opinion, I think that the one thing that the Falcons have an advantage is I think that it's because they're the home team.
Mm-hmm.
I think the comfort is their only advantage. Again, before we were getting ready to jump into our picks, it's no surprise that I will be taking the
Steelers. And another key weapon that they have is for big playability, Drake London.
Okay.
He was 2022 first round pick, 8th overall. He's having a decent year this year. Not a bad year. 41 catches, 438 yards, 4 touchdowns. 5 big plays. He's someone to look out for too that we're gonna have to cover. But I'm thinking our guy. I think we'll be able to cover him rather well this game.
What kind of numbers their QB got?
Oh, let's see. We got Marcus Mariota.
Yeah,
He's completing 62% of his passes, 2,000 yards, 14 touchdowns, 8 picks. He's been sacked 27 times.
You know what? Early on, he was he was supposedly making a little bit of wave in Atlanta. I remember early on in the season, people say, "Watch Mariota, watch what he could do with this team, see if he could."
Yeah.
And it just kind of all fell apart for them.
Yeah.
But you know what? Mariota has always been a quality quarterback. He came out of college, with high hopes. Didn't quite become that guy, but you know what? I think that he is a guy that you're going to have to, you respect his game because he's a good quarterback.
He'll find a way. He can beat you with his legs too. So their top running back, Tyler Algier. I don't know. I've never heard of this guy, but
allergies.
Yeah, he has 500. He's 552 yards.
On that cover him.
Yeah. So he has 552 yards. Second, Cordella Patterson, 506 yards, 5 rushing touchdowns. Third, Marcus Mariota, 421 yards, 4 rushing touchdowns.
That's a lot of yards.
That's a lot. And then one more running back, Caleb Huntley, 347 yards this year. So we got to
go into this game,
run,
right?
Whoever,
and
that's going to open up their play action.
Absolutely.
So it's you have to stop the run game. It's very important.
Tell me, Mike, what is the key? What is the key to the Steelers winning this football game on Sunday at 1:00 in Atlanta, Georgia? Tell me, what do we have to do?
Like I just said, we have to stop the run, make them one-dimensional, make Marcus Mariota beat you with his arm. Okay. That's what you're going to have to do. And sound special teams. Cordella Patterson has the most return touchdowns in NFL history. He just broke Devin Hester's record that I thought would never be broken. This guy has broken those return records. And our kickoff coverage game has not been the best in the past couple games. Danny Smith's going to get the boys fired up and focused.
Yeah,
so you have to stop the run, make Marcus Mariota beat you with his arm because he does not scare me.
So here's the thing. What's it always come back to? You got to run the ball, and you have to stop the run.
You can control the game.
Yeah. So that's the key. That's the key in this one. Don't run the ball, stop the run, and don't let Mariota kill you. In a nutshell, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Mike, you ready to jump over and do some weekly picks for this weekend?
Yes.
As I say every week, I already have my picks placed. Every team has my initial right by it right now. And at the very end, you'll pick a number. Excuse me. And this number will represent the tiebreaker for you. If we would happen to tie in the picks this weekend, the number that you pick will be your tiebreaker. And you want to try to get as close to what you think the final score sum will be of the Steelers-Falcons game. And that number, Mike, we're going to see who gets closest without going over the official total sum score. So I also have that number put down on the paper here. I have my picks put on the paper here. And I'll expose mine to you as we go. And sound good?
Sounds good.
Okay, so the first game I have on the list, Mike, I have and I'm gonna say something real fast. This week was not easy. I was gonna sit down and blow through these picks to just get it, get it done.
Yeah.
And get that portion of what I was doing done. However, there was a good half dozen games on this where I had to stop. And look at numbers and try to figure out because they were that tough. So I just want to give you a heads up, Mike. There are a handful of games that are going to be thinkers. So don't.
I know. I looked at the schedule ahead of time and I'm just looking at it now too. I'm like, it didn't get any easier.
Yeah. So don't rush. Take your time and think about each game because there's a lot at stake, of course. All right. So Mike, the first game I have on the list is the Packers at the Bears. We have Green Bay, the Bears. Now this is a perfect example of what I'm talking about.
Yes.
You have a team that should be good in the Packers, and they're not good. Aaron Rodgers is obviously at the end of his career. You got Jordan Love coming in last week and making a splash at the end of the game. Who knows what to expect from Green Bay? And then there's this Bears team. You don't know what to think. They haven't won in a while. They're kind of due. And who would be better? I mean, to get a win over the Packers, your rival in the division. Mike, who do you like in this game?
I really don't like either one this year. Normally it's a
third team I could pick.
Normally it's like a slam dunk. You're taking Green Bay all day, every day, twice on Sunday, blah blah blah, whatever the cliche is. This year, man, they both suck. They both suck. And a surprise upset that's going to piss off Steeler fans because we need this team to lose. I'm going to take Chicago.
You like the Bears?
No, I don't like the Bears, but shit, you got to pick one of these two.
Okay,
they're going to snap their 5-game losing streak.
Okay, I have the Packers, Mike. I have the Packers. I have an R right here besides the Packers. I'm going to put an M right beside the Bears. Okay, so my next game on the list, Mike, is the Steelers at the Falcons. There's no surprise who I took. Have fun.
In surprising fashion, Mike is picking the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Mike is going with the good guys for once. Look at you.
I know, right? I know.
I'd give you a fucking noogie right now if you were here.
I just think, in the battle of these two mediocre teams, Atlanta's just we're a little bit more mediocre than Atlanta.
I
just enough mediocrity in us to eke out a victory.
All right, so I'm gonna place an M right here besides the Steelers.
I think I just cursed us.
I know. Don't you fucking dare. All right, so that one was okay. So that was kind of tough too. I mean, considering all things considered, and if you weren't a Pittsburgh person, this might be a little bit more of a difficult for me.
Yeah,
it wasn't. So, next game on the list, Mike, I have the Jets at the Vikings. Another one. Vikings, I think they're really good. I don't know if they're overachieving. The Jets are a pretty good team. They're in the race. They need to win to stay in pace with the Dolphins and the Bills. The Vikings. I just don't know who do you like?
And the matchup between Kirk Cousins and Mike White. Who do you take, man? This is like Manning, Brady in their prime.
Yeah.
I think Minnesota just has too much going on. Delvin Cook, Justin Jefferson. I'm taking Minnesota.
Likewise,
I think it's going to be a fun, exciting game.
I think
Minnesota just has enough. It's at home. It's going to just give them the edge they need.
I think a lot of these games, like I said, just because they are tough picks and you're trying to analyze them, I think a lot of these games this week are going to be great games.
Yeah, you just don't know what Jets team's going to show up.
Exactly. Next on, I took the Vikings as well. Next on the list, Mike, the Jacksonville Jaguars at the Detroit Lions. Another one, because the Detroit Lions aren't as bad as their record portray. They have a pretty decent team.
Yeah,
and they have decent games against decent teams as well. It isn't like they're just terrible. And then there's the Jaguars. They could come out and beat Baltimore last week. You have Lawrence. They have they're basically in the same kind of boat as far as the teams go.
Yeah. I'm taking Detroit because they got a lot riding on this game.
Yeah,
because they're sitting second in the North. No one's going to catch Minnesota, but eke out a victory and maybe they're still in the hunt for a wild card. If they can string wins together, then they might find themselves just making into the playoffs. I think they finally have something to play for after the longest time. I'm taking Detroit.
And likewise, I have the Lions as well, Mike. I usually I've given up on the Lions earlier this season because they bend me over and screw me every time.
Yep.
Every time, I think it was every time they screwed me. But I took them again, and I say that if they lose, I won't take them again. But I'm sure I will. But Mike and I we both took the Lions. Big game. Now this is another one in my opinion, and I'll tell you why. The Titans at the Eagles. Now one would think, okay, this is probably going to be a pretty easy. But you know what? This Titan team, Mike, they're not bad. I think they just won a big game. I don't know. They had a good game against somebody recently, and it made me think, okay, these guys aren't bad. But then the Eagles, you're sitting there with one loss. You have to think. I like to think that before the end of the season's over, before week 18 now, they're going to lose again. I don't think the Eagles are going to go 16-1. I think that somebody will beat them. And you know what? I think the Titans are just a good enough team to maybe be the team that could uproot the Eagles in maybe some kind of crazy finish. Maybe Henry has a day. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because
in my opinion, this is a tough one too.
It is. God, hold on. I just had the stats up. Philly's allowing 121 or 120 yards rushing per game.
Yep. Then you got
you have Travis Henry, but on the other hand, Tennessee's letting up 286 yards passing.
And Philly's
Jalen Hurts is having a pretty good year. Tennessee's defense is giving up 18 points a game. Philly's scoring 27. It's something has to give here. And it's at Philly. Oh man, I think if I'm taking Tennessee in an upset.
Tennessee,
they're going to play a tight, conservative road game. Just shut down. They're going to try and you can't shut them down. That no one really has, but contain that passing game and just run the ball, control the clock. Feed Henry all day long.
Now this
Tennessee in a nail biter.
I took the Eagles only because I think they're going to win, but I do want Tennessee to win. I would like to see them beat them. I'd like to see them beat them in the type of game you're talking about, and I would like to see Philadelphia get a couple more losses in the loss column. However, I just think that Philadelphia is the best, playing the best football, especially certainly in the NFC.
Oh yeah.
I took the Eagles just because, but I would love nothing more to see them guys get upset.
I would love it.
Here's another one, Mike. The Browns at the Texans. The Browns at the Texans in the Deshaun Watson game. Deshaun Watson hasn't played football in over 700 days. I would like to think that this would be an easy pick, but what are we going to see, Mike?
This is like the typical Browns move. Jacoby Brissett, he's not setting the world on fire, but he's playing better than what you thought he would be. 12 touchdowns, 6 picks. Hey, more touchdown picks, you're doing all right.
Yeah.
Completing 64% of his passes, 2,600 yards. Throwing, I'd keep him in there. Kareem Hunt's already over 1,000 yards. Just feed him the ball. Do what you're doing. Just keep playing the way you're playing on offense. You're doing enough.
I think it's crazy. They're just taking him and putting him in there just because they can, basically.
Yeah, and it's because he's going to go up against his old team.
Yeah,
let's try and stick it to him. People that have accused you are going to be there. I think this just has disaster written all over it. Typical Cleveland fashion. You're going to potentially start the guy who, like you said, hasn't played in over 700 days. Yeah, stupid. Yeah. I'm taking Houston.
You know what? It's a classic Browns move. I think that if the Browns would have done it any differently, I think that everyone would be surprised.
Yeah.
And here's the thing, Mike. I took the Browns, and the reason I took the Browns, I'll tell you why. Because I think that that Nick Chubb is just too good. I think once the game gets going and he gets them legs churning, and you want to keep running the ball. Let's just say that they're smart enough to realize they're not going to have to throw a bunch with Watson and play into that whole storyline, and you could do what you do well and run the ball and wear the defense down. I think ultimately that's too good for Houston to run with, and ultimately I think Cleveland wins the game, and that's where my pick goes. But again, I think this is an extremely difficult game to pick, and especially with the circumstances.
But remember, you said this team's the smart enough to just let Chubb run. Yeah. This is the team that knew Baker Mayfield's throwing shoulder was tore up last year, and what did they do? They passed the ball instead of running Nick Chubb. So
They're
I
not as
have
smart.
all the faith in the world they're going to fuck this up.
Yeah.
And Houston somehow going to eke out their second win.
And that's the thing. I'm just being devil's advocate because I know how dumb this team is, and I know how dumb the
know, right?
organization is. And we've lived next to it and against it. And it's just it's not going to turn out good for the Browns, but maybe this will work in your favor this week, Mike. The next game we have Washington at the Giants. Washington at the Giants. Here's another one, Mike. I mean, seriously, every game is definitely a thinker. You're not able to just spout it out. You got to think now. I mean,
you're asking me to pick against Saquon Barkley and Taylor Heinicke. You'd never pick against Taylor Heinicke, but I can't pick against Saquon. This is I'm done. Can I abstain from this pick?
No.
That's fine. That's fine. Oh God. Work. Give me the Giant. No. Give me Taylor Heinicke and the team known as the Washington Football Team.
All right, there you go. Mike got the former Redskins. I took the Giants, Mike, in that pick. Next game is the Broncos at Ravens. This one was the first pick out of the first 8 that I thought was a no-brainer. However, the Ravens have a tendency of taking these games against teams that they should beat handedly, get a big lead on them, and then give it up and lose the game. Mike, what do you think?
There's no way they're going to fuck this one up. I am going.
The Broncos are so bad.
Ravens flock. Let's fly.
All right, so you and I both take the Ravens.
Yeah, this.
Here's another.
Broncos
listen to this.
suck.
Dolphins at 49ers.
I quit.
Are you right?
I quit.
They haven't got any easier. None of them. None of these picks have got any easier. This may be the best week of football ever.
It is too. And who the fuck's playing who here? 49ers, Dolphins.
It's out in San Francisco.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna take. Oh damn! I'm gonna take San Francisco.
Okay.
Looks like they have a better defense, and I think that's gonna help them in the long run.
They have a really good defense. They're saying this might be one of the best San Francisco defenses ever.
Yeah. I think it's gonna be them.
All right. So Mike,
and it's not gonna be a duel between Tua and Garoppolo. I think it's gonna be the
skill players,
Garoppolo in the defense that gets them to the victory.
All right, so Mike has the San Francisco 49ers. I took the Dolphins. Next game, Mike, another one that really you can't just jump up and yell out your pick. The Seattle Seahawks at the Rams. The Rams underachieving, Seahawks overachieving. But at the end of the day, you really don't know the identity of either of these teams.
Give me Geno Smith, man. Just give me Geno Smith.
All right,
the Rams are not good this year. They are.
Put a fork in them, man. They're done.
Yeah, they done.
All right, we're down to the last 4 games, Mike. We have the next one being the Chargers at the Raiders. Chargers at the Raiders. What do you think?
I'm gonna go with the Chargers.
You know what? That would be my no-brainer thought. But you know what? The Chargers have been underachieving a lot this year.
They have not been that good. I'm still going to take them. Taking them.
I got the Chargers as well. So Mike and I take the Chargers over the Raiders. This game here, this is the one that I can't wait to watch for multiple reasons. But the Chiefs at the Bengals, Mike. The Chiefs at the Bengals. This game means a lot to our division, and it's the rematch, and it's just 2 damn good AFC teams playing one another during the season. This is the Sunday night football. No, this is not the Sunday night football game, but this game, Mike. I know who I picked, but let's hear who you want on this one.
I'm gonna go with the Chiefs, even though I think Jamar Chase is back. That's what I want to check here real quick. Hold on. Yeah, I thought I read that he was back. He's limited at practice. He's questionable. So, because there's no longer probable, so you can't tell if questionable if he's going to play or not. But I have a feeling he's going to play. So what I've been reading. Is that enough, though? That's another weapon. If he comes back healthy, good to go.
I think it's going to be a hell of a
I
game.
still don't think it's going to be enough to get Cincinnati over that hump, even though they are they're playing a lot better recently. You know, they had a nice little 3-game win streak. You know, they've won 5 out of their last 6, kind of tracking like they did last year. But I think it's Kansas City's just going to be a bit too much for them right now.
I couldn't agree.
If they meet again in the playoffs, it can be a totally different story. But I think right now in the regular season, the way the teams are playing, I'm gonna go with the Chiefs.
That's the exact way I read it, Mike. You and I both chose the Chiefs. Going to Sunday night. The Colts at the Cowboys. This being the first pick of all of them that I found to be a bit of a no-brainer, one that hasn't been a head scratcher. The Colts at the Cowboys. Mike, who do you want?
How about them boys? I hate saying it, but shit, man. That's the Colts. The Colts suck.
Colts last week proved how good they were, and
right, they lost to us. Come on.
And finally, Mike, this last game again, not really. The Saints at Bucks, 2 teams that aren't that good.
Yeah.
Everyone is sub 500 in that division. The Buccaneers are in first place. If the playoffs would start today, they would get into the playoffs having more losses than wins. Who do you like in this one? Saints at the Bucks.
I'm gonna take the Bucks. Come on, Andy Dalton in primetime against Tom Brady. I mean, come on.
Yeah. So let me take a quick look.
Andy Dalton's record in primetime here.
Yes. So you and I are against each other in the Bears-Packers game. So that's one. We have different opinion of the Titans-Eagles game. That's 2. Bears and Texans is 3. Washington and the Giants is 4. Dolphins 49ers is 5. In those 5 games, Mike, those 5 games are the games that we have different picks in. So we won't need a tiebreaker.
We won't. Unless there is a tie in one of those 5 games.
So let's say there's a tie for shits and giggles. What do you think the final score is going to be of this football game? Like the Steelers at Atlanta, 1:00 Sunday in Atlanta, Georgia. What do you think the total of the score is going to be?
31-28 Pittsburgh.
Ooh, I like that. Big scoring.
Yes, our kicker comes out of nowhere. And
scores 31 points.
Fuck, man, the way the offense goes, you never know.
So Mike has 59. His tiebreaker is 59. Whoever gets closest without going over, and I will tell you mine to make it fair. I say the Steelers win 27-13. Total on that is 40. So I don't think we're gonna have to worry about that, Mike. I think we're gonna be okay. But those are our picks. Let's bring the majestic crown back to Mike's side of the studio, everybody. This is what we're playing for. This is a very
I want that crown with my purple lighting that I have going.
It would look nice. It would look nice over there. Mike, we're gonna do a little overtime today because I want to knock a couple of these 2 quick news stories out. Then we'll do our trivia and then we'll get our weekend started. Okay. All right. So here we go, guys. It's time.
Why does it look like I'm jerking off 2 cocks at the same time?
I just realized that.
I was like, oh.
Kanye West has mental breakdown on InfoWars, praises Hitler and Nazis. Mike, tell me why. I didn't catch the story. I don't know the details.
So he was on Alex Jones' podcast, and he starts going on like anti-Semitic rants of like how bad the Jews are. They're all Jews are pedophiles for the most part, is what he was saying. And Nazis aren't that bad. Hitler wasn't that bad. He was like saying stuff so outrageous and so out there. It made Alex Jones go. Like, not Hitler, right? You don't think, you say Nazis were good. You don't mean Hitler was good. No, man. Hitler's good, man. He had some good points. Like, no, bro.
I read about this. I didn't see it. I'm going to have to go pull it up today because this is wild. Kanye. He's another one you're going to have to kind of just pull the plug on at some point.
Yeah.
Because he's just going to keep getting more ridiculous and more ridiculous. Again, I didn't see it, so I can't fully give an opinion, but I will check that out shortly after the show is over. Mike. Mississippi man bites off a victim's nose during an argument over a golf game. Arguing golf. It was an argument that went all day long, and it actually ended out outside a casino. The parking lot of a casino is where he bit the other fella's nose right off.
That is wild. Like, I like golf, but I'd never bite someone's nose off of it about a golf game. Just you take the drop, you add the stroke penalty, and you
Right.
keep going. You don't go.
I can't
This
believe
is
these.
a
I
game, it's
can't
a
believe
mulligan.
people.
No. You play by the rules.
And finally, one other news story, Mike. Remember how yesterday I said Elon Musk said he will be getting the brain chip once they get it ironed out and they figure out the deal with the brain chip. He said he will be getting brain chip. Elon Musk yesterday says he could already have the brain chip right now with his cryptic way that he likes to do things. So he might, the guy that I suspect is some kind of robot, alien, something, he might already have his chip in place.
That explains a lot about Elon Musk. My man is out there and wild. There's a chip malfunction.
In that, everybody was today's. All right, Michael. See, somebody's trying to get his weekend started there with you. Let's knock out some.
His phone died and he's having a mental breakdown.
Oh, that is
Him,
not
Kanye,
happy times.
Oh, not a happy time. Poor
Mike,
kid.
So we're gonna knock this out. We got one last Atlanta Falcons trivia question, and this week's version of how well do we know our enemies? The Atlanta Falcons, of course, is who the Steelers play this week. And this, Mike, you are going to finish hopefully on a high note with this this trivia. Are you ready?
We are ready over here.
All right, so here we go, guys. Before moving to the Georgia Dome in 1992, what stadium was home to the Atlanta Falcons? Now, Mike, for this one, I just want to give you a hint. I'm going to give you a hint, okay? When trying to think of this answer, just think Atlanta Braves, okay? Before moving to the Georgia Dome in 1992, what stadium was the home to the Atlanta Falcons? Think the Braves. And go.
I never knew that.
I think when you hear
they didn't play all their games there. I forgot about that. Huh. Do you know, buddy? Do you know the answer?
I'll just shit if he yells it out.
Right? So like, where'd you learn that? YouTube.
Yeah, they probably do know these kids.
Probably knows it. He just doesn't want to tell me because he's mad at me.
All right, Mike. So the last question of the week, before they moved to the Georgia Dome in 1992, what stadium was home to the Atlanta Falcons? I said, think of the Braves. Once you hear or know or say what this is, it'll certainly ring a bell because of the Braves, I believe. So do you have, Mike, do you have an answer to this question?
Turner Field.
Turner, that's actually not really that bad. That's a good guess. Let me get your. Unfortunately, that was wrong, Mike. But you know what? That was a great guess. The answer, Mike, Fulton County Stadium.
Oh.
Fulton County Stadium. Do you remember hearing that? Just being a Pirates fan, and we had so much going on with the Braves at the time.
Yeah,
got to go down to Fulton County Stadium and play the Braves. You know that. I don't know if I would have been able to guess it with that hint either, but once I said it, I figured that you would know what I was talking about. Mike, hey, one other question real quick before we go off. What did Jackson, the guy we brought in from Washington, the DB?
Yeah.
Is he done or
he's done for? I think he's done for the year. Yeah,
he's done for the year.
I think we put him on IR if I remember correctly.
Okay, I did mention.
Now we don't have to send the draft pick.
I did. That's right. I did mean to ask you that earlier when we were talking Steelers, and I'm just seeing it. I thought so. He's done. So that's nothing that we could have work in our favor. Hopefully. All right, man. What you have anything you want to say before we take off for the weekend, sir?
Go Steelers! Let's go Jaylen Warren. Let's go Benny Snell Jr. and let's go Anthony McFarland. Carry the load while Najee is out.
Hey, that is as good as thing as any. Better than anything that I could come up with. Let's go Steelers. For Mike, Ryan, little man in the back, it's the Two Dumb Yinzers. Have a great weekend.
Whoa. 2 minutes ago. Tweet from Mark Boley.
What's that?
Najee Harris said he is good and will play against the Falcons.
And you know what? This is amazing because the big story usually comes out about 5 minutes after we
I
get off the air
know
for
we
some
caught it.
reason.
I
every
just pulled
day.
up. I was just closing down the tabs. I get to Twitter and Mark Caboli.
So
coming
there
in
you go,
clutch.
everybody. Hopefully we get to see some Najee. We might see Najee Sunday. Big game,
Yes.
big game. Let's bring this win back home to Pittsburgh. Let's get 2 in a row for the first time this season. Mike, Ryan, little guy, 2 dumb yinzers. Have a great one. We'll